Boom, 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 boom.
What was that?
Hey, can y'all hear me? Just as always, we're gonna go ahead and check, make sure you guys can see us, hear us, and everything. Go ahead and say, hey, howdy do today. First of all, how's everyone doing? How are you guys doing? Everything's great. Excited to be here in this unplanned live. I mean, we did plan it, of course, last week, but this was not supposed to be a Tuesday. We did a live stream. It was supposed to be next Tuesday. But of course, we got a speculation map, and we got some updates from HHN, insider updates that we're actually allowed to speak of with you guys. And we also got possibly a teaser by HHN themselves today, and we got some other things we want to talk about. So the past few lives, except for the last live, I usually said like, oh, it's probably going to be a short one. We're just going to talk. This is probably going to be another live stream where we pretty much go start to finish. It's nonstop. So Steph's going to go ahead and pretty much take care of the comments and everything.
Yes,
if you guys have any questions, just in case, I'm going to go ahead and be more on, I guess, vocal through the camera and stuff to go over some of the information that we have. But how's everyone going? Aloha, Jax. Aloha, how's it going? USMT Two-Face, Scream. Let's see. Can't hear you. Scream really loud to make sure. Hey, can you guys hear me?
Was that loud?
Nobody's waving back. Anyways, Lily, I hope Lily's watching. Lily, I hope you guys are doing good. Hope everybody is ready to go today because we got some fun things planned out.
And a lot to talk about. So if we're behind on like questions in the chat or anything, apologies.
Yeah. If you guys do have questions and all that, of course, you're more than welcome to throw them in here. But if we miss it, we apologize. You're more than welcome to keep throwing it in. Or usually at the end of our live streams, we'll go ahead and do like a quick like Q&A. If you guys got questions, throw them in at the end. Yeah. We just want to kind of go over the speculation map because we got a lot. I mean, this one's going to be rapid fire, and we're going to try to get into as much detail as we can. I also do want to put this out there and apologize because this morning, as you guys can see, we did a little different intro in our live streams. I hope you guys like enjoyed it. A little Stranger Things. I actually went into After Effects. This was the first time I ever dove into that program. So I had to custom make that, and I like it. You know, it didn't turn out the way I was hoping because, you know, there was supposed to be more to it and stuff, but I just ran out of time. We got up at 5 a.m. this morning, 5 a.m. Eastern time, and we got the live stream set up. Stephanie worked. I think I passed out for like an hour or two, and then I got back on it doing After Effects the rest of the day, and we did not finish doing that intro until about maybe 40 minutes ago. We were pushing it real close, but we wanted that intro out there for you guys, give it some Stranger Things vibe, because we got some things talking about Stranger Things possibly.
I feel like we keep talking about Stranger Things.
We love Stranger Things.
We just hope that it...
But I think with some of the information we got, I think we're allowed to get into it a little more in depth. I know if Tim's here, he knows what I'm talking about. I've been driving him crazy with that. But anyways, I wanted to put that together for you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. We're trying to get, more in depth with some of our design on the channel, everything, especially like Stranger Things vibe. But anyways, because it took so long to do that, I had so much that I wanted to show you guys through the live stream. We're going to do a video of our Spooky Empire visit we did on Friday, where we actually attended an HHN panel and got to see some behind-the-scenes stuff going on for this year's HHN31. It
was cool.
It was really cool. We actually enjoyed it. We actually spent, a good amount of money.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not going to the event, but being there because they just had some really neat stuff, which at the end of the live stream, we'll show you guys some of the posters that we got, as well as something Stephanie got, which has nothing to do with HHN. But we just ran out of time, and we wanted to show you guys some videos and stuff, so I didn't get time to put it in, but we do have it on our phone, so maybe we'll kind of put the audio or some. We'll figure out how we'll present it.
Always post on Instagram.
Yeah, we can even do that. We'll just talk about it more in depth here. So, but anyways, first things first, let's go ahead and let's talk about the speculation map. Version 3 released by HN Nightmares. I'm going to go ahead and pull it up here on the screen for you guys in about 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. There it is. There you go. As quick as 10 seconds if you was live. So here's the speculation map that we just recently received last week from HN Nightmares. Yeah. I mean...
It's like I'm excited for it because it's a good map, but it's a little disappointing when we lost because of.
Okay, so obviously, as you guys can see, 10 houses. What's great about this is we have 5 scare zones and both shows. So this is the first full complete map that we have. the scare zones are amazing. We'll get to that in a second. But the houses, we have 10 houses, 7 of them returning from the second speculation map, and 3 of them changing. Now, if you notice those 3, 2 of them are brand new. One of them was on the first speculation map, or the first version of a speculation map, which was the Evil Dead, which is something Steph and I are both pretty much really excited to see if it does come to fruition for this year's event. But if you notice, we lost 2 houses that we were really hoping that were true, which was Stranger Things and Wicked Growth 2. Now, one thing that we got to be careful with, especially around speculation announcement season, is that we get our hopes up for certain properties that come to the event. Now, HHN, of course, they're going to do what they're going to do, and no matter how much we keep, yelling at them and knocking at the door about certain things like Stranger Things, if they're going to do it, they're going to do it. If not, they're not. So, I think we kind of failed on our aspect of not getting our hopes up for Stranger Things, because we were thinking even earlier in the year, like we may get it. Even like the end of last year, we were talking about it. And then, of course, the speculation map version 1 came out. We didn't see it. It's like, okay, but Fear Street was on it. So we're like, all right, cool.
Yeah.
And then version 2 came out and Stranger Things was on it. Now,
I was kind of bummed
for Fear Street being gone. Yeah.
And we didn't have
We
didn't have the new season of Stranger Things out yet. So I wasn't sure what to expect with that.
Yeah.
But now that we've seen it, I think it would make a great house.
Yeah. Stranger Things Season 4 is really great. It's doing fantastic. I'm actually really excited to see the second part of this season and how that's going. But anyways, we got our hopes up for it. And I think when HN Nightmares posted in the second version of Speculation Map that, it's coming to the event, right? In that second version, we got really excited because the way I look at it from HN Nightmares, they're not an official source, but they're pretty dang good at what they do. And in my belief is that they don't really put anything on the speculation map that they wouldn't have some kind of plausible reason to put it on. Even if they know it's not coming to the event, there's got to be at least somewhat of a tie to the event that people will believe it to come.
Yeah, or like a code name for something else.
Yeah, exactly. Like, for instance, with Seeds of Extinction 2, we had Wicked Growth 2 on the last speculation map. So it's like, technically, they're still showing somewhat of a second version or a sequel of a past house. So,
but some people are saying that the Witch House is now, like, the code name, or, like, is Wicked Growth 2.
It's the sequel, yeah.
It's just, like, a different name.
Yeah. Which. Hey, Which.
Which
we're actually going to go ahead and get into in a second. But with Stranger Things and Wicked Growth 2, we got our hopes really high up, and we were really excited, and a lot of people were excited for it. But we're like, we gotta pump the brakes because we don't want to get to the point where they don't end up announcing Stranger Things to the event, and then we get bummed and we feel like the lineup is weaker. But I mean, I don't know. I feel like as HHN fans, we gotta slow down a little bit on Stranger Things. If it does happen, sweet. This is going to be the greatest year ever. And if it doesn't happen, it's still going to be one of the best years that we've ever had. We just can't get our hopes too high. So that's all I want to say about Stranger Things. But that's not the only thing about Stranger Things. We're going to get into that later in the live stream with something very special, possibly. Which is why this is crazy, because we're like up and down on how we feel. So we'll get into that in a second. But let's talk about the Witch House. So Witch was put on here, and it's an original house, something that we were technically we were speculating to come to the event in some capacity, as in like witches, because we think this year was going to be a traditional kind of Halloween event, and you got to have witches in there. But to see it as an original house, and then a lot of people are saying that this is supposed to be somewhat tied with Wicked Growth. Now, if you remember going through the entrance of Wicked Growth, you actually had a witch kind of spieling, Heroes Halloween, summon the pumpkin lord, or bring on the night wind, and all that stuff, which was fantastic. I could probably sleep to that, just hearing that. And then we actually had a whole scene where there was 2 witches and everything. So people said that it could possibly be a sequel to Wicked Growth with those witches and kind of the storyline about that, which, bring it on, right?
Yeah.
We'll take it. So what about your thoughts? I know you brought up a second ago.
I'm excited for Witch. We actually talked about this. I can't remember if we talked about it in like a video, a live, or just you and I talked about this. But we said, like, if they were to do a traditional Halloween year, like full theme of just like traditional Halloween, what would they do? And one of the house ideas that we talked about was just like witches.
A witch house, yeah.
And we talked about, the witches from Wicked Growth, and then the witch from Scary Tales as well.
Oh, yeah.
And like that kind of vibe.
I think it was the last live stream.
Was it?
Or maybe in the speculation.
It was
we
like
did.
it was like way before.
I mean, could have. We did do. I think it was a live stream a long time ago where we talked about speculated stuff coming to the event, and I think witches and like pumpkins, like witch growth and ghosts and vampires. It was like very traditional vibes. So
yeah,
but
so we love that. We love the like traditional, which honestly, like it just makes sense.
Yeah,
because it's the 31st year. So.
Actually, I want to pull this up real quick. Let's Talk HHN just said another Scary Tales possibly, which that'd be awesome. I mean,
I love Scary Tales.
You got to go through it in 2018, right?
Yeah,
when they had the house.
Yeah.
And I actually never got to go through that house. And of course, we've watched video after video of, HHN and all that stuff. And that house actually had like this castle scene and this witch was, flying around and stuff in the front, which that was awesome. I feel like they need to have something like that for this year. Or even kind of like a traditional, like old American, like lore of witches, like Salem and stuff, where you have like an old, like in the woods, kind of like Hocus Pocus in a sense, but of course a little more like sinister, darker, or like I've never seen that, so I don't know what it is, but
it is like it's like old, like the 1800s. Like,
oh yeah, something like that. So
someone did say like, what if witch is a No, I lost the comment. What if witch is a code name for Fear Street? Because it is that, like, the whole, like, underlying story of that is about, like, a witch. The only thing is, I don't think that they would use that because it is technically an original and Fear Street is an IP. Don't you think?
I mean...
Or do they do that? I guess they can do whatever they want.
We're not HN Nightmares. Yeah. I'll tell you that. We don't know what's going on back there. But,
I guess they could switch out
they could,
an original for
but
an
I don't
IP.
think they would necessarily put like original in there if they didn't believe it was an original. But I mean, but then again, like I don't know. I mean, that's a great point to bring up, Richard, because they do have sometimes like code names that they use for certain houses, and they could just say which original. But if you really think about it, if you look in this spec map, which I'm trying to look real close, there's 5 originals that they have written down. So you have 5 originals and 5 IPs, which last year I think we had 6 to 7. I think technically it was 7.
We had a lot of originals last
and then
year.
we had the rest was IPs. And I had a feeling that this year was going to be heavy on IPs, but I don't know. I feel like it'd be a good balance, especially if they do a traditional Halloween vibe. They can pretty much do a lot of originals with this year, so not too sure.
Talking about that, we can move on to, well, we've talked about The Evil Dead before, but there's a lot to talk about. Will it be the new movie or will it be the old one? Like what was it, 2013 or 2014? I forget what year. The remake, will it be that one or will it be like the OG? Which I hope it's the original. I believe they've had that house before, correct?
I think HHN31. I think they had that.
Which I know we've had like that house before. We've had the original Halloween before. But if you're going to do a traditional Halloween year, I think it would be cool to have like all originals. No like remakes or anything like that.
Yeah, I agree. When you're bringing IPs into...
But I can see them trying to like, boost that new movie by... like having that in the contract.
See, I wouldn't see why they would bring the new movie in though, because it's not like it's very recent, and I think Evil Dead 2 is having an anniversary. So I think they would go back to, it could even be the second one, I'm not sure. So I think they would go back to the originals, especially if you look at Halloween being on here. We thought it was going to be the Halloween 2018 film, but it ended up becoming the 1978 Halloween, the original Michael Myers one. So I feel like if they did the Evil Dead, and I mean, if you look at the font, it's even got the word "the" in it. I feel like they're going back to those classics if they do any of those types of movies. So that's what I'm feeling.
And then, go ahead.
Yeah, okay.
I was gonna say this is a good question, but I know we're kind of short on time today. We have a lot.
We can bring it up if you want to. I know you like reading the comments and bringing up our comments here. Zach said, "Do you like originals or IPs more?"
I feel like it really depends. Yeah. Because the IPs are really cool to see because you know what that looks like and then you get to step into it. Mm-hmm. But the originals are cool because they have so much freedom with like what they can do in them.
Yeah. Good point to bring up is you have last year you had Wicked Growth, original concept, one of our absolute favorite houses to ever exist at HHN. And like Steph said, they have the freedom to just create whatever they want. So they can. There is no boundaries or anything. So every time, not every time, like the first time you go through it, it's a surprise. We don't know what to expect.
Yeah.
One thing that we'll talk about with the HHN panel that we saw on Friday, they were talking about originals and stuff too, and they said that when they create these houses, especially like the originals, they have no idea what the fans are going to receive or what they're going to receive from the fans. And they did something like Wicked Growth, and they said that house blew up, and they're like, we did not expect the Pumpkin Lord and Low Boo and all that to really be that big. So it's the fans that really dictate, what becomes popular or not at the event. So the originals have something special because we're always surprised, and it's always like, the creators of HHN put this together and like, what do you guys think? And we have the free rights to pretty much say like, great or where as IPs, they have to stick to what the IP is. They can't really stray far from it. And like Steph said, we can step into it. Like if there's a movie, like for instance, Halloween, the 1978 film, I pretty much really enjoy. So being able to go see it, like see the house and hear the music, it's something that from a perspective of wanting to see that's nice. So
yeah.
And it depends.
And I will also throw in there that when he was talking about, I forget which one of them was talking about this, but about like kind of their original houses like blowing up when they don't expect it. They were also talking about icons and like when they would have like a new icon or anything like that, and how a lot of times it's hard for a new icon to compete with all the icons that they already have. But then they did mention that they, every once in a while a character will come up that they realize like the guests have like a love for, and then he did mention the Pumpkin Lord. So.
Okay. So, like I said, we were going to get into Spooky Empire, but it's a great point that you bring up because, they these original concepts they put up, which all icons are original concepts. They throw it out there, and like if it's really received by the guests well, they may want to expand on a certain character story, and they were pretty much talking about the Pumpkin Lord a lot. They even showed concept art about the Pumpkin Lord and talked about the story on that. And I even noticed that they had a photo that they posted at that panel. I think we have photos of it and videos and stuff. We'll show you guys later. But it said the Pumpkin Lord 2.0. What? Go ahead. I'll let you say it, and then I'm going to go
Which ahead. Could mean like 2.0 is in like another, like him returning again. Or it could just mean that like she brought up a sketch. They said, change this. And then she said, okay, 2.0, and then change something.
So backstory on that. I know we're just throwing stuff at your way, and we're very unorganized right now. But they were talking with the lady there. Her name was Stephanie. She was actually talking about the concept of drawing the Pumpkin Lord. And she made him very like bony, and she was kind of like skinny kind of vibes. And she brought it to them. They're like, oh, we love this, but make him chunky. Big, we want him to be like massive, chunky, very intimidating and menacing. So that could be very much the second version that she drew, and it said 2.0, or that could lead into possibly the second time we see him at the event. That's a far stretch, but we just want to throw that out there. And then let's go to move forward. We also have Seeds of Extinction 2. Now, Seeds of Extinction 2, or Seeds of Extinction, was a house that was featured in HHN28 back in 2018, which is a house you got to go through, and I never got to see. So
I liked it. The first time I went through it definitely got me, because it's a lot of like, there's not a lot of, or there wasn't a lot of like boo holes, which sometimes you can see where the boo holes are. You're like, I know somebody's going to jump out there. But because all of the costumes were kind of like blended into the wall, they would just be like standing in the wall and then like jump out at you. So the first time I went through it, it really got me. But I don't know, the next few times the more I went through it, the more I like learned where those spots were, which I guess is the same with any house. But I thought it was cool. It kind of seemed like a lot of the same thing, It was like I really like the like anthology type of houses, and this was kind of like plants, more plants. But I thought it was cool. I'd be interested to see if they would do like a different, a different vibe to it, and not just be the same kind of, idea just again.
Hondo, come here. Sorry guys, did you guys see him? He's like 53 pounds now. He's like doubled in size, and he's also doubled in annoyance. He's like the biggest baby on earth. When he doesn't get his way, he definitely whines about it.
We also read that Seeds 2 might be a prequel, which would be interesting. I can't remember the exact storyline of the first one, but I do know it was like an asteroid or something.
Good boy.
So I wonder if it would be like before the plants started growing, but then it would just be like desert.
So obviously I don't really know much about Seeds of Extinction, but it is sci-fi horror technically because the asteroid comes in, causes some crazy thing with the plants and stuff. But if I had to guess, this is the first time I'm hearing it being possibly a sequel house. If it was, or a prequel house, if it was, I would assume it would be at the time of impact. So you would have like kind of like an asteroid hitting Earth, like fire, people going crazy, and then these
carnivorous plants.
Like carnivorous plants kind of come out from the ground, and they're getting people, and you can kind of see the creation of the so-called aftermath to come kind of thing. So I think that's what it would be prequel-wise.
That'd be kind of cool.
Which, hey, I'm down for.
It would be kind of cool to have like people in there because I feel like there weren't a lot of. Well, you don't know, but I feel like there weren't a lot of like. I can't remember any really of like people being like attacked by these plants. So that would be kind of cool to see.
Yeah. So that's Seeds of Extinction 2. In my opinion, out of those three houses, I feel like The Evil Dead replaced Stranger Things as an IP, Witch replaced Underground Creatures, and then Seeds of Extinction 2 replaced Wicked Growth 2. So that's what I would say.
Yeah.
Okay, here, let me pull it up, Steph. We're all over the place.
I know, we're just kind of all over the place.
Steph is trying to get to y'all's comments, so we'll try to get to it.
This is going to be quick. The only reason I want to bring this up is because we have to give credit to Lily, right?
5-year-old Lily, who watches the channel.
Credit to Lily. She, you guys mentioned that in the first episode of Stranger Things, spoilers, I guess, if you haven't seen it yet.
Oh yeah, if you guys haven't seen Stranger Things, we're gonna give you 10 seconds to plug your ears, and then I'll give you the thumbs up like this when we're back.
Dustin rolls and
10 seconds.
Okay.
Wow, you got 10 seconds. Dustin rolls.
Well, you talked for about 10 seconds.
Okay. Spoiler warning coming up.
So they're playing D&D in the first episode, and they're fighting against Vecna, and Dustin rolls an 11. And Lily mentioned that in our last live stream, and I was like, I didn't even notice that. That's insane. So I posted about it on TikTok. So
and it blew up.
A lot of people didn't notice that. I thought I would have been like, the 10th person to say it, and I would have gotten like no views. But a lot of people were like, "Oh my god, I didn't even notice."
Yeah, how many views did he get?
It's at like 800,000.
Jesus. Anything that I create gets like 10 views, and I'm like,
"Oh, stop it!"
I spent 3 days on this, and then Steph spends 5 minutes, and boom. So credit to Lily on that, by the way.
Yes, thank you,
perfect.
Lily.
So back to the speculation map now. Those 7 houses. Like I said, we're excited for Halloween and Legends Collide. Obviously, we talked about those as are coming to the event. They are official. And then we got El Chupacabra, Dead Man's Wharf. We got Bug House, which I hope doesn't actually happen. I really don't. But we also got Blumhouse and The Weeknd. Now, Blumhouse is, it's something that I feel like is actually not going to happen. I don't see why they would bring Freaky. Yeah, I don't see why they would bring the movie Freaky in as an IP. It's just, I don't know. It's a weird vibe. And then the Black Phone, supposedly a lot of, from what critics are saying, it's really good. Steph and I do plan to go see it in theaters. Hopefully we'll get to go soon to go see it in theaters and stuff when it comes out and stuff. But
we have a long list of movies, though.
Yeah, we haven't been able to step out because of the little guy back here. But it's like the Black Phone, I'm not too sure if I feel like... I don't know, because it is basically the whole storyline of that is on child abduction, and
it feels a little weird.
It feels a little weird being Universal. It's Halloween Horror Nights, but it is a family theme park after all, guys. So they're not going to throw anything crazy. And we were supposed to have Cindy as an icon one year, but because there was an increase in child abductions in the area, they scrapped that. Yeah. So I don't see why they would go down that road of actually bringing a house like that. But then again, they could, because it does look really good. It does look like it's going to be nice.
I guess everybody keeps asking what the, funny house is going to be. I guess Freaky could be.
The campy?
Yeah. I mean, it's not really campy, but it's, the movie is, a horror comedy. So,
Yeah, I feel like it's
could
more
be
comedy
that.
than anything.
But there were some pretty good kills in that movie.
Yeah.
But I don't know how it will translate to a house.
Yeah. So I don't know how I feel about Blumhouse. I mean, me personally, granted, a lot of people, on the inside, they'll laugh at what I say about this, but I have a feeling that's actually not going to happen. So I feel like that's going to open a position for a house. And then The Weekend was the other one I wanted to talk about, which I feel like is happening. Very confident. I feel like a lot of people are. But then we just recently got something from HHN, which we're going to get into more, that looks like it could be either Stranger Things or The Weekend.
Yeah.
So, which actually, I want to go ahead. We're going to pull this up right now for you guys.
And while he's getting that, there was also a post by, what is it? Is it Legends? It's just Legends? That Twitter account that
Maybe.
Posts all the clues.
Yeah, I think so.
They tweeted like a GIF, and it was just like, it just said chaos.
Yeah.
And a lot of people were speculating that for whatever reason, The Weekend like pulled out.
Maybe something
Or there
last
was,
minute.
like, creative
There's a last minute
differences or
change or
something.
something, which I have a feeling a lot of things are going to go on. So we're just, in my opinion, whatever you see in these spec maps, just kind of go like, oh, cool, this looks fun, and then just keep moving forward with your day. But this is what HHN actually posted today, this morning, as a lot of people for some reason thought today was going to be an announcement day, which we always take that with a grain of salt because we know people get excited with it, but we're always on standby. Like, okay, if they do, we'll get ready.
This happened last week too, where everybody was like, "It's going to be an announcement day," and then they posted a GIF. And that was it.
Yeah, there's a picture. There's a picture of the lady that was in the Halloween announcement, which her name was a skeptic.
Yeah.
So they posted that, and then we didn't get anything that day. And the following day, which was Wednesday, we got Halloween. Right. So this very much could be along that same lines where we get this kind of, it's called a GIF. We get this little like teaser to something. As you can see, you have these two characters who are obviously in a rush. They're trying to open an elevator. Elevator opens. They take like 2 steps forward and then realize there's something there and they have to stop. But if you also look at the atmosphere, you got this blue and you have this red, which is very reminiscent of the coloration, the color grade, and the usage in Stranger Things, especially the upside down. So could this possibly be something?
People are saying that apparently The Weekend has like a music video with an elevator, I guess. So could be that.
See, we wouldn't know that. We don't watch The Weekend stuff.
No.
It's obviously it's got to be something with an elevator. And the only thing on this entire speculation map that we pulled up, house-wise, that would have an elevator would be The Weekend. I don't see any of those other ones having an elevator.
Oh.
And then if it would be something...
It has kind of the color variation of the Evil Dead Rise poster, so the new movie.
Yeah, but see, when does that movie come out?
I'm not sure.
Next year? Didn't they delay it?
They did delay it. I don't remember if it's like fall or next year.
I thought they delayed that movie. I don't see them. I don't know. We'd have to search it up. We'll search it up. So, anyways, Stephanie is going to pull something up, I guess. Go ahead. You read it.
So they've been having all of the announcements have been having like each of the characters has like a title, I guess. We had the snacker and then the skeptic. Mm-hmm. So maybe these are, 2 new characters, and I think that's
in your typical like horror type of movies, you always have like the couple that's together. So that could be like their story. And so maybe HHN's like showing different your different what is it called?
It's like your archetypes.
Yeah, your different archetypes and stuff based on those stories, like especially high school, college, or whatever. Yeah. You got the people who are like the jocks. You got the you got the nerds, and you got the punks. And,
it's like Cabin in the Woods.
Yeah, pretty much. So it might be going based on that, where we're showing little things like that to pay homage. I'm not too sure.
Yeah.
So that's a good little point to bring up there, by the way. So, but anyways, it very much could be something The Weekend related. Coloration could even relate to something Stranger Things because you can see the lights flickering. But like I said, we haven't really seen anything The Weekend, so we wouldn't really know if that relates to it or not. But that was the post there that they brought up, which they've only put up on Twitter. They usually, when they're really going to do something announcement-wise, they usually put it on Instagram.
Yeah.
So
but they've been posting all week on Instagram.
Yeah, recently they have been. But let's go ahead and let's bring up that speculation map again. So those are the houses that we wanted to talk about. Of course, we're already at almost 40 minutes in this live stream. It's gone by fast
already.
Jeez. We also have 102 people in the stream right now. So how's everybody doing? If you guys are just joining now, we just went over the speculation map houses. We're going to get into the scare zones in that show. And then we're also going to go ahead and talk about some things we got from Spooky Empire, as in like merchandise wise, as well as things things that we have heard from the creators from the HHN panel on that Friday.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about that stuff too. So welcome in. Also, if you guys are in here, go ahead and hit the like button on this video. I do want to take an intermission right now and stuff. Hit the like button, but I want to say a huge thank you to all of you guys for the support that we've been getting recently. It's awesome. It's been fueling our energy to do more and more videos. Yeah. And like I said, we got up this morning at 5 o'clock, started working on the video, and here we are the last minute putting this together. We're like, oh my gosh, time's flying by. And even on Instagram, we just recently posted the 3rd episode of I call it the Countdown to HHN thing, which is our YouTube series in August that we do. Mm-hmm. But I couldn't think of anything last minute. So I was like, we'll just call it Countdown to HHN, whatever. And so it's our Instagram series, and we posted our 3rd episode on there, which had I don't want to say I don't want to say any spoilers.
Really cringy acting by myself.
No,
because I'm not an actor at all.
We tried some things and it was fun. It actually turned out to be a lot better than we thought it was going to be. So if you guys haven't seen that, go check it on our Instagram account and stuff. But a huge thank you to all you guys for supporting us, because it's been getting us more excited to do more HHN content as much as we can leading up to this year's event. So, all right, back to the regularly scheduled program. Scare zones. What do you guys think of this year's scare zones list? Because I personally feel like this is probably one of the strongest scare zones lists I have seen, especially from a speculation map. And it has no IPs. There's no IPs. It's all original concepts, which,
very excited.
I actually like having scare zones as originals, and then maybe the house is more of IPs, I feel.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anytime HHN does originals, it's awesome.
Yeah. We just love like the vibe of it.
But
very, very excited for this.
Let's talk about we'll go counterclockwise. We'll start with Hollywood and we'll finish with the most important one, which is, Production Central there. But
Minion Way.
Little minions. Yeah, Jesus. But let's go to talk about Hollywood, which is vampires. Now, in our speculation map video that we posted last week, we talked about the idea, if it is vampires, that they're going to go more in the classical vampires, like your old, like Transylvanian type of stuff, Romanian, like Victorian age.
Honestly, yes, we want that, but I'd be fine with like a Vamp Street even, because I love Vamp 85.
Mm-hmm.
I wish
just
I
bring
could
back
have seen,
Vamp 85.
Yeah.
Just bring it back.
That's fine with us.
Yeah, we'll do that.
But it would be cool to see like the more traditional like idea of vampires.
Yeah. It'd be neat just to hear like the only like music I can think of that's related to vampires is like Dracula's actual theme. So you got that dun dun dun, and it's like, like maybe turrets, like old like castle turrets, and like curtains draped, and like some like an organ playing on that, and just like kind of that vibe with like stained glass, and it is really like beautiful red vampirical bats kind of stuff. So I feel like that would be really neat. We're excited. Anything vampires, we're pretty much going to be a fan of. And then going on into the next zone, which is Scarecrow. This was a house back in 2017, which was amazing. Scarecrow the Reaping. Mm-hmm. It was a fan favorite that year. Probably one of the scarier houses, too, that they've done, original-wise. Mm-hmm. I loved it. I got to go through that house a couple times. Every time. I don't really remember that house well, because I remember that was one house that I actually just kind of kept my head down and my hands in my pockets, and I just walked through. But it was really good. Every time that I got to go, the facade was terrifying.
I will say they did mention at the panel that they also acknowledge that anytime they use corn, it's a bad omen, because they get a hurricane every single time
that year on opening weekend
corn.
Or the week before opening weekend.
So I'm interested to see if they'll use any corn in this scare zone.
I mean,
I feel like they would.
I feel like they would have to fit that house, but then I feel like they're gonna be like, the fans would understand too. We're not gonna put corn.
Yeah,
we'll put it like a white poster board and just write the word corn on it. You just have to use your imagination.
It's just
corn.
they just play music by Corn.
Oh yeah, there you go. We brought corn to the event. But I have a feeling that this is going to be very reminiscent of that house, whether it's a sequel or not, or it's just featuring the characters. But they're going to pretty much what I picture is the best street to have it in because it's very condensed. You have all those trees and stuff. They can pretty much add like corn. Like a cornfield going along the side. They can have old barn equipments, maybe like even like a featured like small little barn that they've done or a shed, and just have all those different types of like scarecrows, like the pig-headed ones and the bones and all that kind of stuff that they featured.
Yeah.
So
Courtney said maybe they can use wheat instead.
Yeah, that's actually true. That's a good point.
As long as it's like farm related, I guess.
Yeah, so I think wheat would be honestly. I mean, if they can get the wheat to be really like tall, I think that'd be perfect compared to corn because if it's a windy night, that'll look really good, especially like if they have it in Central Park, like on that hill spot they have, and they could put a scare actor out there just like stalking through.
Yeah,
like
I wonder if they could have like corn stalks without like the actual corn on it.
Like dried up, like it's been,
just like
the Dust Bowl type of vibe. Yeah, maybe.
I don't know.
That'd be good.
We don't want to mess with that. We don't want hurricanes.
Yeah, we really don't. I mean, just in general here in Florida. But it does cool off the weather while it's happening. That's the only positive I can think of.
No. Because real corn, like they used back in 27, wouldn't that still...
Like fake corn. Losh is saying that we just use fake corn.
Oh, yeah, fake corn.
Yeah, we get like fake one. But I still feel like...
I mean, it's plastic.
I feel like Mother Nature would still be like, oh, that's corn. I'm still coming in. So,
where do you draw the line?
Yeah, I don't know. So, but that's what they said at the panel, that anytime they feature corn, they usually get a hurricane that year. So they are trying to stay away from it, but maybe they're going to push their luck this year. So that's Scarecrow. And then moving across the lagoon, we actually have Treeks and Foons, which is going to be where Crypt TV was last year.
This is the one I'm least excited for, just because we've had them before, and honestly, I don't think they're that scary. I don't think they're meant to be that scary either, but I just am not a fan of the costume, and I really don't want bubbles. That's my take on it.
I'm around that. I agree. It's like I'm not really like excited for it. I kind of am because I haven't gotten to see that as a scare zone fully. We got to see it partially in the Eddie zone last year, and they were cool, but we didn't really care for much. Now we did look at some research for Treeks and Foons, and we noticed that in the Islands of Adventure scare zones that they were out there, they had like bubbles everywhere. I'm talking like foam that they would walk through. And although that looks really cool and sounds fun, I don't really care to walk through foam and like get sticky all through the night. So
as long as it's like confined to an area and I can like avoid it, I'm fine with that. Yeah. I don't want to walk through bubbles.
Yeah. Other than that,
that's just me.
We're not so crazy about that house or that scare zone, but I mean, it would be neat to see. It's a scare zone based off of Islands of Fear back in the early 2000s when they had the caretaker and all that. So it'd be cool to see something like that.
I do also agree. Killer Clowns over Tricks and Foons, though.
Yeah, I agree. Bring back another Killer Clowns zone. We'll do that.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's what Tricks and Foons is. It's that vibe. That's going to be your campy little section, your campy zone. So
yeah.
All right. And then we are moving on to the greatest street to ever be named, Candy Mutants.
I'm talking like excited for that one.
We're talking like a bunch of Bryans running around with candy. Woo!
I'm kind of excited about that one. I'm interested to see what they do with it. I think it'd be cool if they had like, a lot of really cool prosthetics and stuff. Anything with mutants, I feel like you get a lot of cool makeup and maybe masks and stuff.
Yeah. I just...
It sounds different.
It does. It sounds unique. It's if we're sticking around that same like old classic Halloween vibe, I mean, you're going to have candy involved. You got trick-or-treating and stuff like that. So I can imagine it's a bunch of these kids and, like, maybe it's like it could be even like a factory. It could be themed around like a candy factory or something.
That'd be
like
cool.
that. Like Willy Wonka, Oompa Loompa
that
gone
had like
wrong.
Like radioactive or
something crazy goes on. Of course, like we'll get a storyline to what that could possibly be. But of course, it's in the streets of New York. So this is going to be one of the largest scare zones that they have.
Yeah.
So it's got to be big. So we'll see.
Yeah,
It better do it right.
Normally, New York is the street that has like some stages and maybe a little show.
Even like a little show that they do too. So I wonder what that would even entail.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
We'll see.
We'll see. And then the one that I actually am more excited for, which is at the very front, in technically Little Minions area now, but it is traditional Halloween. Now, besides the fact that it's traditional Halloween, we could be getting something like ghosts, vampires, witches, pumpkins, like everything you can possibly see there. It's the fact that this street is usually centered around the theme of what the event is going to be for that year. Last year we had 30 years, 30 fears, and of course it was the 30th anniversary. Now we didn't see the icons there. You had the pictures of them along the side, but then you had characters that were in previous HHN events.
They had their like sounds going.
Oh yeah, and then you could hear the icons, like some of their spiels or quotes they would say. And then in HHN29, you had an arcade, which was like an arcade synth vibe and stuff, 80s arcade, which that was kind of the theme of the event. It's very synth-like, old retro. Yeah. And then in 2018, you actually had
the
Harvest, which...
But it was the Harvest, but it also had it also had those little like sets for each of the houses.
Yeah, go ahead. So little man needs to go out, so Steph's going to take care of that. I'm going to sit in the middle. But yeah, so the Harvest featured like little it was like little pieces of hay that had like TVs and like the sign and stuff, and actually talked, or not talked, it kind of featured, I think it was on a TV or whatever, and it showed like the IPs that were coming there. But of course they had some original characters roaming around, which had nothing to do with any of the houses. It was just kind of
talking about the Harvest.
Yeah, which
the Harvest was supposed to be the Blumhouse house, and then they had those costumes already, so they were like, "Well, we'll just put them in that front street."
Oh, cool.
Which
is weird because the theme of 2018 was like the 80s. That's what it pretty much was. Like it wasn't like the 80s, but if you look at all the like majority of the houses, and I think Blake,
he did say that. He was like, "We're doing the 80s, right?"
Yeah, he was one of the creators of the event and stuff. And there's a video, I think from the Tim Tracker. He actually said that they're doing the 80s, and that's where they started doing Vamp 85. So it was like around the 80s and stuff, but the Harvest didn't really feature that much. And then in HHN 27, they did something similar too, where they had some of the featured houses there on like those little like poles and stuff like that. They were shredding. So, but I feel like from 29 and 30, you have usually the theme of the year in that street, featuring what the houses are going to pretty much be around. So traditional Halloween seems like that's what our theme's going to be.
Yeah.
Which,
at least,
heck yeah,
based on the spec map.
Yes, opinions.
And then we also, it looks like we're getting Nightmare Fuel again.
Yeah.
Yay.
Yeah, shows. Hey, Nightmare Fuel. We're very excited for it. It'll be nice to see, but I mean, that's really all we need to see.
It'd be cool if, like, for Nightmare Fuel as well, they still keep that, like, vibe with, like, the fire, and it's, like, very dark, but then they also bring that, like, traditional Halloween feel to it as well.
Yeah, I really would love, with Nightmare Fuel, this is what they did in last year's show. They had an element of, like, illusions, like magic kind of stuff, like a magic show. There's small elements of that, and it'd be really neat if they did that for this year's show, if they had more of those illusions and stuff, because magic, like dark magic and stuff, fits like Halloween, traditional Halloween, right? You got, magic.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that would be cool.
I mean, you would know. You're a magician.
Yeah.
So, but
I can't tell my secrets.
No. She just stabs people. So, but that's the speculation map. I'm going to also, I was about to get off of it, but I do want to say, if you guys notice, the locations are different in the speculation map. They have 5 houses featured in sound stages. As you can see, you got them up in the front. We even have one before you even get to Minions, the little Minions ride. Last time they had that was, I think, in 27 or 26, maybe 25. It was one of those years where they actually had the entrance to the house where you go between Blue Man Group, the old Blue Man Group building, and Rip Ride Rocket, leads to a soundstage, and then you got the larger one that's in that the turf area. So,
I will say, when we were at the HHN panel at Spooky, they did kind of confirm, unless I don't know, I can't remember who said it, unless he was wrong. They did kind of confirm that the location for Legends Collide on the spec map is incorrect.
Right? Let's get into that now. So everyone say goodbye to the speculation map. Bye, spec map. Yeah, whatever. All right, back to us now, fully on the screen. So yeah, getting into what we had with Spooky Empire, we actually went thanks to one of our subscribers who came up to us and said, "Hey, like, did you hear there's an HHN panel that's going on?" Curtis, big shout out to you for that. We appreciate that because we actually ended up going just to see the HHN panel, and then of course we ended up buying. Do you want to show the merch that we
sure.
got? We got some merchandise that we want to show you guys, which we're actually going to set up in the studio. That lightsaber's dying. We're going to set up in the studio and everything once we get there. Here, I'll hold it. You show them. So
we'll save that one for last.
Okay.
We know people like that one.
Well, actually, no. Show them first.
Okay.
Because the last one's going to be what we're talking about. That'll be perfect.
Okay, so that's the first one that we got. Oh, you can see the screen. Oh no. Okay, there we go. So it is Wicked Growth, and it says, what does it say?
All Hail the Pumpkin Lord.
Yeah.
And then it's got like, it's like an old like little comic, like little magazine kind of thing.
Yeah.
So that's the first one that we got. And these are all from Cryptoguts, by the way. If you want to check out their artwork on Instagram, you can go to Instagram and type in Cryptoguts, and you can see some of the things they have. I think they have a website as well for this stuff.
Case files. Ooh, my voice cracked. Case files. And it has like Boris on there, the Cat Club, some of the
little monsters here.
Some of the monsters and stuff, which is cool. And then kind of like a 2-for-1, or I guess. Yeah,
sure.
2-for-1. This is Universal Monsters. We have I know.
I'm trying to help you.
We have Creature, the Mummy, and Phantom of the Opera.
Our good friend Drew's gonna hurt you.
I'm sorry.
So Creature,
I was
Mummy,
focused on
Phantom.
Showing it because it was really dark. I didn't forget Phantom's name. And then Universal Monsters with Dracula, Frank, and Wolfman.
There you go.
Yeah. So yeah.
So we got 4 of these. There was a Killer Clowns one that we almost ended up purchasing. We really liked it, but they're kind of expensive. I think it was like over $150 for us to get those 4 frames and the posters. So it was kind of expensive, but we saw them. We were like, oh, we have to get those for the studio. It features, of course, you got Dracula and the classic monsters, and then we had Wicked Growth and the Case Files. So we were like, yeah, we're gonna put that in the studio. And then the other thing that we ended up getting, I almost fell off the chair. Could you imagine? I busted myself. Steph, this is you. What are you doing? Pay attention.
I'm responding.
Don't respond. This is more important. Show off your HHN merchandise.
This isn't relevant. I got a lightsaber.
Steph got a lightsaber. Yeah, which does a whole bunch of things. It's a NeoPixel. It's super freaking awesome. I've actually been enjoying it more recently, but so we ended up getting that too. So those are the stuff that we got from Spooky Empire. It was really neat, really cool. We actually even got to meet one of our subscribers, Amanda. There, she came out and talked to us. So that was really neat to be able to say hi to her.
It was fun.
Which was really great. But the panel ended up talking about Pumpkin Lord, talk about some behind the scenes things, and we got to see some of their careers and how they progressed through HHN. But the coolest thing, I think, was when they talked about Universal Monsters Legends Collide. They actually showed some inside photos of the house, and they gave us some information about it.
Yeah.
I'll talk about one part of the information, and you'll talk about the other one. But they talked about the location.
Yes.
The location for this house, which, oh my gosh, guys, I'm going to have to bring it back up. I know I said no more spec map, but I'm going to bring it up so I can show you guys exactly the location. But they 100% confirmed that the location is going to be where Beetlejuice was last year. So the letter J in the map is that location for that house where Legends Collide will be. So it says on this spec map, the weekend's there. That's incorrect. The same with I, where it says Legends Collide. I think what's true is that you swap those 2 houses.
Yes,
so the weekend...
Unless he said it wrong. Because he said the parade building and then...
Where Beetlejuice was last year.
Which, technically, those are both parade buildings.
Yeah, those technically are both parade buildings. But he did say where Beetlejuice was last year. So if that is... if he said that correctly, they are confirming that the letter J is where Legends Collide would be. So I would say just swap the weekend and Legends Clyde, and I think those two is where those houses will be.
Yeah, so it does seem like if that is the case, the like Simpsons Stay and Scream will likely go to Legends Collide and possibly the weekend if that's a thing.
Yeah. So, but the other news that they talked about with Legends Collide, I'll let you.
Yes, and Aloha Jax got beat us to it, but they said it's going to be the longest house that they've ever had. So very excited about that. They said that it's massive in size, and even the facade, like when you look at it, it's going to be like just massive.
Yeah.
So very excited for that.
So they said this is the longest house they have constructed, I think, in HHN history. This is by length, by walking length, so the path that they have. So let me explain this. He said, and they were really tiptoeing around.
Yeah.
They didn't want to say too much.
I think Charles said it, and then Michael was like,
they were both like kind of like, They wanted to give us, you could tell they wanted to give us the information then and there, but they're like, so this house is very long, lengthwise. It's long.
That's it.
Yeah, that's all, So they were talking about that. And another thing they said too is that the facade of this house. You guys ready? They didn't really say much. All they could say was the facade of this house was like,
I already said
epic. That. Yeah. Oh, did you?
Yeah. Yeah, he said it's massive. So super excited for that, especially because they explain more in depth the like backstory to it as well. And it's apparently Dracula is like, or
he's the last one to talk about.
The Mummy is contacted.
The second one to talk about.
Oh, really?
The Wolfman.
The Wolfman.
So
okay. I was trying to
Stephanie's
film.
Been up. Really, listen, guys. Stephanie's been up since 5 a.m. I don't know if she's had 4 cups of coffee yet.
No, I haven't. I'm trying to cut down on caffeine.
But so they mentioned the Wolfman, and they said that the Wolfman, he's been searching all these years to find a way to get rid of his curse, because anybody gets close to or has like friends or loved ones or anything, he ends up hurting them or killing them because he turns into a werewolf. So he's really sick and tired of him being a werewolf, and he's tired of this curse, so he's trying to break it. And I think he was doing some research and found out that this amulet will actually lift his curse.
Yeah.
So the story is he goes and searches for this. At the same time, though, this amulet, of course, being Egyptian related and all that stuff, has involvements and ties with the mummy. And I think it says something to where, what's his name? Talbot?
That's the werewolf.
The werewolf, yeah. Talbot or whatever. He ends up going, I might be butchering this. It was in Friday. I have it in video.
Imhotep is the mummy, right?
I don't know.
I think so.
Imhotep. Your end is my beginning. Anyways, I think so. I think if I can remember this correctly, if you guys obviously know information, please put it in the chat and correct me if I'm wrong. But Talbot actually goes to this location where this amulet would be, and he hears, I think it's the priest or the second in line to the mummy or whatever, kind of like chanting or hearing them. They're like bringing the mummy back, or he's having them control. When he talked about the Wolfman, I got excited, and then when he started talking about the mummy, I was focusing more on the recording, so I didn't really get much from the mummy.
Yeah, I was focusing on recording too.
So we really didn't tune in the mummy's storyline to it. But then they said, however, though, you have the Wolfman going against the mummy. They're kind of going against each other, and then they said, but then there's the benefactor, Count Dracula. Yeah. So they said the benefactor is Dracula in the story, where he's like, he's like, this amulet will allow me to have the ability to go out and day walk. Yeah. So the sun will not bother him. So Dracula will be a menace day and night. So the word benefactor usually means that's the one person who benefits or whatever, the benefiting part of the story. So I'm like, hey, I like that already.
Yeah.
So it's going to feature those 3 guys kind of like, going in as bros, first to the amulet wins kind of thing. So they're going to kind of fight over it.
And then we've talked about this before, but East Coast, West Coast, it's going to be part 1 and part 2. So
yeah. Well, they're featuring like different parts of the story.
Yeah.
So I'm not too sure. I'm not 100% sure if it's like it's part 1, part 2, or they're different stories or parts of a story and they don't fully complete it, I guess. Right. I'm not too sure. So that's one thing they said. I think it was the first time they ever did something like that, where they featured a house on both coasts to tell either a continuous story or pieces of the story. So you have to go to both to understand the full storyline of it, which we're wondering how that would be. Would the West Coast be like the beginning of the story, East Coast be the ending, or the East Coast, West Coast? Not too sure. Kind of follow the sun's trail. Maybe the East Coast is the first. We don't know.
But they did say, like, in the panel, you'll have to do both houses to get the full story.
Yeah. So we both look at each other and it's like, I guess we're going
to Hollywood.
We're going to Hollywood. Which, that's not confirmed yet.
No, not yet.
Maybe.
We'll see.
If you guys want us to.
What about... Oh.
I know you're reading comments. I haven't seen any. I apologize, guys. I haven't really been looking at any comments.
But I think that was it.
We've been so busy.
I think that was it. That they mentioned about... Sorry, I'm reading comments. Yeah, I think that was it that they mentioned that we wanted to talk about, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm really, like, for the information that we needed to, I think that's pretty much it.
Someone said the Hollywood facade is already pretty much complete. Can you guys see it?
Oh, yeah. So that's one thing that me personally, I don't like about Hollywood is that you guys can just walk around the park and it's like, oh, look, there it is. I guess that's what that house is. So it kills the surprise of the announcements. I wish Universal out there can find a way to better hide their construction. I mean, it's very hard because they're like pop-up tents that they do out there. So it's hard. It's out in the open. But it does kill that surprise for the West Coast fans when they're just like walking around. They're like, oh, like for instance, like La Llorona. It's like, okay, guess that's coming to the event, you know?
Yeah.
And you haven't heard it. So you know, like, it's going to happen.
Right.
Which on the East Coast here, we love the fact that we're like, we don't know. This is all behind closed doors. So speculation is very strong out here. Going back and forth, and then it also agitates us when it's like, you know, we want to know what's going on, and then people are like, oh, this is happening, and we're like, oh, we get hopes of it. Like, oh, no, maybe not. I don't, you know, so.
And people see things like people who work for Universal see things backstage, and maybe like they don't see everything, but they can see like just like a glimpse inside one of the houses, and they're like, oh, it's this, but like all they could have seen was just like trees.
Yeah, I mean, we don't know, but I mean.
So then
it's
get,
fun
like,
though. It gets exciting though. Even if somebody's like we have a good viewer of the show and stuff, and he noticed like he saw like this kind of like this chain like fence going in, and me and him talked about it for like an hour because we were just excited. Like, oh, what could that chain fence be for? You know, and it gets you excited, but at the same time, we're like, all right, just wait for the announcements. You know.
Yeah. Zach said the inside of the Fast and Furious queue, you're able to see what maybe the inside of the new house there in a speaker.
Oh, okay.
Might have to check that out.
Find this right here.
Does that mean we have to ride Fast and Furious?
No.
Just go through the line and then leave?
Just go through the line. They're like, all right, come on in. No, we're good. We're going to go home. I will never ride that ride again. So, also, we thank you, Eden, by the way. Love your videos so much, Brian and Stephanie, and they make me feel happy. We appreciate that. Hearing that comment makes us feel happy. So, thank you. So, but anyway, so that's all the information that we pretty much had to bring to you guys. Our thoughts and opinions on the speculation map, as well as what we got from Spooky Empire, what we heard from the HHN panel, that little release that HHN put out this morning, and the possibility of a house being announced this week, I think is like a 95%, and for it to be released tomorrow is like an 85 to 90%. So be on your toes, people.
Hopefully it's tomorrow because I won't be here this weekend.
Oh, so yeah, Stephanie is going to be gone Thursday through Sunday. So hopefully they do announce it tomorrow so we can do a video for you guys. We'll try to do it real quick and get it out like we did the Halloween video.
Or you guys might get a solo Brian video.
No, you'll never get that. It'll be me and Hondo.
Put some W's in the chat. Is that what they say?
Put W's in the chat.
If you want to see it.
Put some W's in the chat, guys.
If you want to see a solo Brian video.
Solo Brian. That'd be horrible.
No, that would be
Hey,
fun.
guys, welcome to the channel.
That'd be fun.
Where I take you through the fog. And then I keep looking to my left. I don't know. I really don't know how we do this alone.
F.
Yeah, big F in the chat. Maybe a big F. So, but anyways, now if you guys have some questions that you want to put out there, this is a great time. We'll actually, I'll be able to go ahead and see what's going on. Because I know Steph is kind of taking over the comments and she's kind of moderating it for you guys as much as she can.
Put a blonde wig on Hondo.
Yeah, we could. Or I could
even
put the Michael mask on Hondo and have him just stand here.
I don't think he would just stand there.
No. He's just a menace. That dog is crazy. So.
It's really weird how they have a lot of random Gremlins merch. I feel like they've always had a lot of Gremlins merch. I don't know why. But they've always had like Gremlins merch in the in that store.
5 and Dime.
Yeah,
5 and Dime on Hollywood. They've always featured Gremlins merchandise there, and I think back in 29 or for 30, they brought new Gremlins merchandise out, and we thought like, oh, are we going to get like an HHN house based on Gremlins, which would have been really cool. But yeah, I don't know. I have a feeling one year we will get Gremlins. I don't know when. Don't know.
Also, yes, Swagasaur. His name is based off of Hondo Onaka.
Oh yeah,
he's one of our favorite characters.
Yeah, we've been looking for a dog for a while, and we finally got the chance to get Hondo, of course, and we wanted to name him Hondo based on Hondo Onaka. Steph's even, yeah, little pop vinyl. You can see him, yeah. So we're huge Star Wars fans. Although Star Wars is in Disney's hands, which that's another story. It's been driving it to the ground. So, but we're HHN fans, so that's why we do this. But anyways, I think the camera's getting close to dying.
No.
It usually has like an hour and 5 minutes to an hour and 10 minutes of battery life. We're at an hour and 8 minutes, so we're getting pretty close. But anyways, I do want to say a huge thank you to all of you guys coming out and supporting us recently. It's been fun getting back into making HHN videos. We've also been doing that series. Series on
reading the comments.
Yeah, I know. But we've been doing that series on Instagram where Steph's kind of been our little actress, our little star actress and stuff. And it's been enjoyable.
I hate watching this.
We've been learning, and
it's like listening to yourself on recording. You're like,
yeah, that's true. I mean, that's how all our videos
that's
are.
How I feel.
Whenever I edit the videos, I'm like, oh my God, listen to us. We sound so dumb. But episode 4, we're getting in production in episode 4 really, really soon. Hopefully, our friend Unfriendly Hero will get together with him so we can film it and put it together. But we have a character from the speculation map that we, of course, talked about majority of today. We have that character being featured in that next episode with another potential property that could be coming to the event that might not be coming to the event.
Yeah.
We don't want to spoil too much, but that's going to be in the next episode. So we're excited for that. If you guys want to check it out, make sure you guys follow us on Instagram and check that out. Let us know what you guys think. See if you guys like it or not.
We also might post some of those, the videos that we took at the panel and everything.
Oh, spooky, yeah.
And the photos from Legends Collide, like the backstage photos, and that photo of the Pumpkin Lord sketch.
Yeah. And then for any of you guys who are our Patreon members, I know Swagasaurus actually just got a notification that you just joined in, so we really appreciate it, by the way. But for any of you guys who are our Patreon members in those certain select tiers, we're actually going to go ahead and start posting some of our bloopers from the Instagram series that we have. There is one scene where Stephanie does kick me pretty hard, and I go down pretty hard. So we're gonna be posting some of those things and stuff like that for our Patreon members. I know I haven't posted anything in like over a month, so shame on me. Like I said, I just been like, for instance, just to do that Stranger Things logo.
Yeah, it took all day.
It took the entire day. So just like things like that takes entire days, and then we do so much more. So, but also Artemis super sticker $2.99. Thank you so much. By the way, I love seeing the dolphin. I don't know why. Every time we see the dolphin pop up, I'm like, yeah.
Love it.
Dolphin's great. Thank you so much, Artemis.
Lily keeps saying that she's going to see us, her friends, at the spooky place.
There you go.
We can't wait to see you guys. Right here. Yeah.
We'll see Lily at the spooky place.
Yep. September.
So, but anyways, we're going to go ahead and start wrapping this up before the camera dies. So it sucks because I hate saying goodbye. I want to stay in here as much as we can with you guys, but that's gonna pretty much do it for us.
What was the name of the website for the posters?
Oh, it's online. They're called Cryptiguts, like CRY. Steph's gonna type it up. CRYPTIGUTS. Yeah. Posters are from. I don't know if it's .com. Just Google Cryptiguts. You can go on Instagram and they may have a link to their website. But we got it from Spooky Empire, so it was face to face. It wasn't like we got it online. Actually,
if there is an announcement tomorrow, will we go live again?
I don't know. I don't think we would do a live. If there is an announcement,
we'll do a video.
If there's an announcement, we'll just do an announcement video, and then that next week Tuesday, I think we will do a live next week Tuesday. We're gonna start getting to the point where we pretty much get close to doing a live every week.
Yeah.
Because mid to late July is when we want to start that, but here we are in late June and we're starting to get announcements. So, but anyways, that's going to be it for us, guys. We appreciate all of you guys for coming in and joining us. And until then, and the next video that we see you guys, hopefully tomorrow with an announcement.
Yeah. Hopefully.
Can't wait to see you guys then, and catch you guys in the fall.
Peace out. You have to say peace out.
Peace out, dudes.
Bye.
Bruce, anyways, yeah. But see, and then when we're in the live stream, then I got to go find this one thing so I can add the thing, and that's awkward, and da 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 da. Love you guys. Good night.
Bye.